from idea to spellbinding success, we're gonna welcome to this stage Summer Orlando and her coven as they manifest the magic behind the nationwide hit parody musical Hocus Pocus Live, moderated by our wonderful friend from here, Salem, Joe Manganaro. And he also tuned into his podcast, the Horror Squad podcast. Slap your salt containers together and welcome to the stage, Summer Orlando, Miranda, Petite, and Joe!
Hello, everybody!
Thank you, Borah, for that marvelous introduction. Hello, friends. How are we doing this afternoon at Wicked New England? Marvelous. All right, well, I'm going to hand it over to Joe, and we're going to drop the act. We're going to be real serious.
Well, first of all, sisters, welcome back to Salem. I know it's been, 300 years maybe since the last time you've been here?
It's been 33 years since we last returned.
Wow.
Yes.
So, just to start simple, Hocus Pocus Live. For anyone that's maybe never attended a show, what exactly is Hocus Pocus Live?
Absolutely. So, Hocus Pocus Live is a 90-minute, all-live singing parody musical based off the cult classic Hocus Pocus. We do all of your favorite big moments, your big scenes, and your favorite songs that you know and love, as well as other songs that you know and love, but with a Hocus Pocus twist. And it's family-friendly and for all ages from 6 to 60.
Excellent. Now, how did this all start? How did this show come to life? Who was the originator, and how did everyone get involved?
Great question. So this show is celebrating this year 9 years of sold-out performances. Thank you. And it started 9 years ago, and I wanted to do something for Halloween time. I come from a background of theater and wanted to write something spectacular using a movie or something that I really love and know really well. And Hocus Pocus is one of those movies, it's like The Wizard of Oz, that like if you see it as a kid, it like sticks with you. And so I brought it to a local bar that had a stage and said, I have this idea for Halloween. And so we started off as like a drag show, basically, where it was all lip synced. We put together, clips from the movie, Bette Midler's favorite one-liners, and all the antics and stuff that you know and love from the movie. And then as it grew, we started to make a change and do it live. So knowing that I had the ability to sing live, we started turning the songs into live adaptions, and then the words became scripted pieces. And then after it was a tribute show, I wanted to kind of create my own version that is still a love letter to Hocus Pocus, but also is going to be like a little, it kind of tweaks it and spins it on its head a little bit. Our Act 2 kind of goes in a direction that the movie doesn't follow, but we still have those amazing tropes. It's still the same story that you know and love. We follow the Hocus Pocus 1, the original movie storyline, but you will have little Easter eggs from Hocus Pocus 2, which is also very exciting.
Now, Miranda and Bonnie, were you guys always a part of this, or when did you come into this production?
Well, let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, I got a call 2 weeks before the show asking if I could play Allison in Hocus Pocus. And of course I said yes, what a fabulous opportunity. And come show night, it's 5 minutes before curtain, I have my Allison costume, wig, ready to go, and a stagehand comes and gets me and is like, Miranda, Summer needs to speak to you in the dressing room. I'm like, great. Where's this gonna go? So, all right, I march into the dressing room and there's Summer, dressed as Winifred Petite, okay? And Summer is looking at me and looks me up and down and goes, you're going to take that costume off, you're going to take that wig off, and you're going to turn into Santa. Can you do it? And I was like, You like that, didn't you?
Yep.
Obviously, I said yes. You can't say no. So everything moved in slow motion. I have people ripping costumes off of me. I have people putting wigs on me. I'm just standing there like a dummy, taking it all in. And sure enough, I've seen the movie thousands of times, much like yourselves. And it was kind of easy. I got to play the dumb one. So I get to follow around on stage, to act like an idiot, and have a great time. So I've been doing it for 4 years now. Gotta love it.
The coolest thing about Miranda is she is an amazing improv character actor. So with no rehearsal whatsoever and a full sold-out audience 10 minutes before the show, she comes on, knows none of the choreography, knows the songs, because who doesn't know the songs, and just kind of wings it and just goes with our energy and matches it and is so great. And no one in the audience had any clue that anything happened behind the scenes. They thought that she was it the whole time. And that is the magic of live theater, right?
Gotta love it.
And now Bonnie will tell her story.
Yeah, and then I actually joined the show as an understudy and like a sort of swing type person. And then I did nothing for an entire season except sit backstage and work on costumes. And it was lovely. I had a blast, but I didn't really learn the show. And then I get a call right before, a couple months before the season last year started. And Summer was like, oh, well, we want to offer you the job. And I was like, oh, shoot. Was I supposed to learn that? Was that supposed to happen? So, but then last season was my first season. And then I'm glad to be back.
And it was spectacular. And honestly, I could not ask for two better sisters to work with on stage. If you've ever seen our show, the sisters really carry the show. It's really mainly focused on them and their hilarity and their comedy. We do all physical comedy, just like Bette Midler and Kathy and Sarah Jessica. And it's just like, I love these two. They're absolutely fantastic to work with.
Now, obviously, Hocus Pocus is an absolute cult classic. You have a lot of fans that come to your show, I'm sure, that have a very critical eye. How do you balance parody while also honoring the original film?
That's a great question. So, as I said, we started as a tribute show because I wanted to make sure that the Hocus Pocus fandom loved what we did. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist myself, and I am a huge Hocus Pocus fan, so I would only accept so much. It's very similar to like how Kathy and Jimmy was very the main person that got Hocus Pocus 2 on its feet because she knew what the fans would and wouldn't accept in a movie. So I was the same way. So I came up with how can we pay homage without it just being a carbon copy, because you can't compare to those three, right? But we can kind of walk along their road. And so we found ways to create jokes and live theater moments and audience participatory moments in the show that we have, and just kind of play on that. And honestly, every night is different because even though it's a scripted show, we really feed off the energy of the audience. So if the audience is having just as much good of a time, then it's just so much fuel and stuff to use for the show. And you never know what can happen during a live show, you know?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I also think that as one thing that I think was really nervous about stepping into the show was, I have to be like Kathy, or I have to be like whoever's done the role before. And what I found very quickly was like our audiences come to have a good time and just have fun, and it's camp, and it's Hocus Pocus itself is just like the epitome of 90s camp, you know? And so I feel like our audiences come and want to just have a good time, so they're on the ride for whatever it is, and they have had a lot of fun with us too.
No, let's move on.
Okay.
All right. So obviously, you guys have been touring for a while. So how do you keep the show fresh and original for the audiences that continue to come back year after year?
That's a great question. So, in the last 2 years, my sister, who is my writing partner on this, my real biological sister, who also plays Danny in the show, and fun fact, her real name is Danny, and so it's kind of fun. It's very method. We wrote a brand new script for the show. And it was right when Bonnie joined, we like retooled the whole show and said, what are the strengths of everybody? How can we really flip this on its head and change it? We wrote a brand new act 2 that no one will, like if you are just coming to the show, you have no idea what's gonna happen in act 2. Like you're like, I know the movie, but you're not gonna see the movie. You're gonna feel like you're a part of the movie, but you're also gonna get a little extra. And so this past year, we rewrote a whole book, and we do little things to tweak it each year, little small things, and we take feedback of like what audiences can write into our website and go, oh my God, I love this, and it would be really cool if you could do something like this, and we'll probably get into this, but some things that have changed or updated in the show, there are some venues that we travel to that we actually fly live on stage, on wires, using the company that flies Wicked on Broadway. And that was something that I never thought would ever happen in my wildest dreams, but never say never. And it's like little things like that, where like, maybe we fly, maybe we have an audience member as a part of the show and give them a microphone and give them some lines to say. So there's always a little tweak. Also, we tweak our set pieces every year. Our costumes kind of get upgraded every now and then, and wigs and little things.
Now, Summer, this obviously seems to be your baby, and you said you're, a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this. So, would you say this is, a collaborative effort though? Like, is Bonnie and Miranda able to sort of, put in any of their...
100%. So, we have a rule where if it's written on the page, we usually write in the jokes already. So we've already done the hard work for you. However, the sisters have so many moments on stage that require improv. And sometimes, like I said, live theater, anything can happen. Like, do you mind if I tell a story about the Warner?
I don't remember which one, but go for it.
Okay, so there was a malfunction or something where her mic came out of her wig, and they had to like unzip her and like rehook her back up and whatever. And it was during a scene where she was supposed to be on stage. And I didn't know what was happening. And because Miranda and we have lots of improv experiences as Bonnie, we just kind of wrote a scene live on stage in front of the audience as it was happening. And we just looked in our eyes and we were like, let's keep this going. And then she came out. And then we made fun of her and yelled at her because she missed her cue. And
meanwhile, I'm backstage hearing on the overhead, Bonnie Petite to the stage, Bonnie Petite to the stage.
Exactly.
Bonnie Petite to the stage, Bonnie Petite to the stage.
So
yes, I know.
So it's magical moments like that, and then also like every now and then they'll come up with zingers like that will completely catch me off guard, and we just roll with it. And sometimes we have rehearsals together, just the three of us. Like we do have rehearsals with the cast, but the sister rehearsals are where all the fun happens, and the bonding happens, and the jokes happen, and everything else. So you have to be in the room where it happens to like really get an idea.
We also, because, and I think we'll talk about the different versions of the show, but because we do a few different versions of the show, some of them are more improv based, and we all three are in those shows, and we get used to just like coming up with jokes. And
we
so
know how to play these
bring it back
characters in any situation. We could be at the grocery store and know exactly what to do.
Done, we'll do it again.
Excellent. What would you say audiences might not realize is like something extremely difficult to pull off? Like I'm sure you all make it look so flawless on stage.
I'll take this one.
Take it.
So, as you know, a fabulous little song called I'll take you away. Try doing that in a harness, up in the air, holding a mop in between your legs, okay? That mop is not screwed in anywhere. I am using the brute force of my inner thighs to hold that baby up. And it's quite the thing, I have to say. That song, you know, you only get a little clip in the movie. Sarah Jessica Parker does an enchanting job singing that little ditty. But girl, my song is like 3.5 minutes long. In the air. I'm not complaining, actually. I would do it in my sleep. I would do it with my arms tied behind my back. I would do it anyway.
Yeah, she's the better one in the harness. Like, she literally will go in the air and act like she's been doing it her whole life. Took me a couple years to get comfy with it. But that's a really cool thing that like we share with the actual witches. Not many people have been in those harnesses on wires, flying those ways, because all of our effects are practical, just like the original Hocus Pocus 1 and 2. And like, she flew just like Sarah Jessica Parker, singing that song, knowing exactly, you know, how to handle the aerography, choreographer, and all that. It's very cool. It's very cool. So that's definitely one of the things. I would say, once again, live theater is amazing. You never know what can happen. We have a lot of tech in our show, like lots of smoke machines, lots of lights, lots of microphones, and microphones sometimes can go out, and smoke machines can sometimes go off at the wrong time or not work at all, or set pieces can break, like our black flame candle has taken quite a few tumbles. Let's see, what else? Do you have any fun?
I think the thing that I find that we make look super flawless at all times, that is the hardest, is Hair Spells Witch Thrills.
Yes.
It is the last number in the show, and it is so wordy. It's a rap,
marathon, let me tell
you. A marathon of a song, and I think by the time by that point in the show, we're all like already
very tired.
And so by the end of it, we're like,
and it is a very high energy number. It's basically the encore after the show technically ends, and the witches come out, and it's like a bop for the kids. And we have hand motions that go with every line that the audience can do with us. So it's like this like ball leader kind of number. It is a lot of energy, a lot of work. And after doing a 90-minute show, you're like, woo! Tired witch.
You get to the end, we're like,
You hope your wig is still on.
Now, it's very clear all three of you embody the characters you play. But, you know, how do you balance, the characters people expect, but also wanting to make the characters?
So, I have a background as a drag entertainer, and one of my special talents is I do a lot of celebrity impersonations, and I've learned that I can also sing as these celebrities. Once again, with my perfectionism, I'm a huge Bette Midler fan. I mean, I grew up with Hocus Pocus in all of her movies, and have always loved her. And I don't only impersonate Winifred, but I also do some of other Bette Midler's characters, and I do Bette Midler herself, like concert Bette as well. And I am not happy until I do extensive research on the character. So I'll do 3 weeks, 3 months, watch everything, learn about Winifred's every little detail. Like, some people, I feel like this audience will know, but I was talking to somebody about this in the car. Winifred doesn't have eyebrows. And one of my nitpicky things with people who do Winifred is when they draw eyebrows to match the red hair. And that's just not the makeup design, right? So I have learned to mimic the voice and to get the mannerisms and all that stuff. And I wanted to do it so well that I had Bette Midler's approval. And I'm really happy to say that I actually have her approval because of this show and what I do. I know we're going to talk about this later, but I'll just give a little tease. Disney reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be a lookalike for Bette Midler in Hocus Pocus 2, the movie. So I got to do 5 days with the witches and do it all, and I made 3 scenes, and it was really cool. And I got to meet her, and she was like, "You look just like me," and we were both dressed as Winifred, and I was literally told by the makeup team at Disney that I look too much like her to be in close-up shots. What an honor! So they had to move me around and all of that, but it was incredible. But I do put a little bit of myself into her as well because it's staged. So you have to, she's already campy, but we amp it up like 5 volumes up over that. So you really get the eccentricness of Winnie. And I think by Winnie, she's a lot more whiny. She's got more song in her heart. And when she cries, she really cries from her heart. And then when she's really angry, it's really scary. But she has these sisters to kind of keep her grounded.
But she's also, I think, a little more playful.
She is playful.
I think
She's not as scary in the movie. Like, I feel like Hocus Pocus 1 was, you know, the witches were kind of, you know, we eat children and all that. We do all of that, but we do it in a playful way where it's like, if you've ever seen the witches, the sisters at the Disney show during Mickey's Not So Scary, they're more quirky and kooky and like wacky and campy than like, we'll suck your soul and forever like that. So that's kind of how I change it. And I know, Bonnie, you have a different approach of how you take Kathy and then also intertwine Bonnie.
Yeah, I mean, I think, so when I came into it, I not only had Kathy, I also had the people that I've seen play it in this version of it, too, and sort of in my head. And so I think it was really imperative for me to, at the start, just like make a rule to myself, to be fair to myself as an artist, that I'm throwing all of that out. So while loving Kathy, I am not Kathy, right? And so when I was trying to do, like, find her voice and those type of things, it was like, I'm not Kathy to Jimmy. Like, I will try my best to get close to her, but she's sort of got like this placement and I'll try to get close to it. And then I'm gonna add things to it. So as we started improvising a lot and doing like a lot of the cabaret shows and those types of things, I started to figure out like little things that I would hear people say to me as to like what they thought Mary would say, and I would find myself saying it, but like in my version of Mary's voice. And so some of those things have just like become part of, you know.
Yes.
I'm winning, come in winning.
And same thing with Miranda. Miranda, I think you kind of up the ante with Sarah. Like, you give the Sarah Jessica Parker, but then you also give yourself, and you really, like, she throws herself. So you want to talk about physical acting. Sarah she's always throwing herself on the floor. She's doing high kicks for her amok and all of those things. And all the things you expect from Sarah, but just like wacky, wacky, wacky. By the time we're done with the season, she's covered in bruises, but loving every minute of it, and it's just, you commit to the bit, you know?
You have to. For me, learning Sarah was a trial by fire. When you're literally thrown out on stage without a single rehearsal, I mean, Sarah is me and I am Sarah. It was very organic, and I find that she's just another extension of myself, and in a way, she gets to do a lot of things that I, Miranda, the human, don't get to do because, you know, I am simply mortal. But Sarah, oh my God, she gets away with murder, okay? It's a lot of fun to play her. Yeah, trial by fire. Highly recommend it for anyone to try. Just getting thrown up on stage. Do it, it's fun.
Now, I mean, you mentioned this show started at a bar, right? Like a local bar. So what, I guess, was the moment you realized, okay, this is actually getting pretty big. This could be for real.
So it's, like I said, it was supposed to be a one-off. Like, it was supposed to be a skit. Like, literally a Halloween skit for fun, for a little bit of money. That's it. It sold out the first time we did it. And mind you, the show started as a 30-minute show. Literally just a little half-hour skit, I'm not kidding. Then the next year they were like, oh, this was so successful, let's bring it back. So then it became 45 minutes. And then we did it at a Connecticut Renaissance Festival, outside for 500 people, 4 times on the hour. And it was an hour-long show. And so that's a lot of people. That's like 2,000 people or something like that. Yeah, 2,000 people, that's math. And then after that, we started getting picked up by theaters, and then after we wrote the script, they were like, you know, it'd be really nice to have a 90-minute show if we could create that. So we did, and then it started selling out in places like, I'm talking 300-seat theaters all the way to 1,000-seat theaters because of the fandom. Because the fandom is so huge. It's like Rocky Horror. Hocus Pocus has that cult classic following that people come out in droves because the IP is so recognizable. And then it really grew when I got the call from Disney, and then I was allowed to announce that I was in the movie, and then all the doors started to open, and all the phone calls came in, every venue, and we started coming up with other different ways to offer the Sanderson sisters, and yeah, and then it just grew from there.
But at the end of the day, none of this would be possible without your butts and seats. So seriously,
true.
it is your love for the movie that pays our bills. So seriously, thank you so much.
100%.
Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts.
100%.
We would not be here if it weren't for you guys. Seriously.
And this is our second time in Salem, so we had the amazing opportunity to come to Salem last year in September and perform at the amazing Cinema Salem, and we brought our cabaret show, which is coming back this September, 4 performances. It's family friendly, and you can buy tickets at our little booth over there at the QR code. But we
Such a
love
good
Salem,
time.
and it's become like our second home.
Now, as the show, continues to grow and grew, what would you say is one thing that got harder that you didn't expect?
The amount of shows and the schedule. Because our season runs September all the way through the first week of November. We are booked every weekend, or we have a show, or we're in rehearsals, or I'm doing press on news outlets or whatever. It is a non-stop marathon of Hocus Pocus. I see this witch more than I see myself when September hits. When I found out we had the opportunity to do this, I was like, all right, girls, the witches are coming back, but it's April, so this is gonna feel weird, but like, I guess it works.
Yeah, not me pulling Mary Sanderson out of her coffin yesterday.
For real. I never thought I'd see this witch this early in the year, but hey, if the people want the witches, we come, light a candle, that's it.
We come. I would like to add to that. I think one of the things that can be a little difficult to manage is when you have show after show after show, your health becomes the most important thing. Your voice, your body, how you can stretch, how you can move, making sure you're not losing your voice. It's happened. It's traumatic. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit of a party girl, and I kind of have to chill out during that time because, this is what is important, is creating a product that not only you love, but that we can stand behind and be proud of. We really put our heart and soul into this, and so...
Or we put our whole bodies, we every night,
Literally.
wherever we are, it doesn't matter how many people are in the audience, we are throwing our entire souls into these performances.
And our health is truly the most important thing.
Yes.
And just to piggyback on the schedule, you sort of never know when life things are gonna happen too. And sometimes that happens in the middle of a tour, sometimes that happens right before tour starts, and you sort of just gotta roll with the punches. I think that was the thing I didn't necessarily think about. And I've acted and had rigorous schedules before, but I think with this, it is literally almost 3 months at this point of back to back to back to back. And sometimes things are going to happen during those 3 months, and so you just have to sort of roll with the punches and learn how to handle that.
Yeah, even though we're not doing 8 shows a week yet, this is like a Broadway schedule where it's okay, cabaret, musical, something else.
Your day job.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That you don't want to get fired
It's a
from.
lot. Morning, afternoon, night, figure it out. You're tired? Well, you can sleep after November.
We do, for a month.
We do.
Now, I would like to know a little bit more about, obviously, your experience on Hocus Pocus 2. That's amazing. What an honor to be a part of that.
Oh my God. It was a fever dream, a childhood fever dream. I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to be on any kind of Disney set, but when I say, so they shot the movie in Rhode Island, not Salem. They rebuilt Salem in Rhode Island. We shot 4 days in Newport, Rhode Island, which is where all the major sets were. That's where they rebuilt the cottage. It's where they rebuilt the cemetery, the Old Burial Hill cemetery, and we had the new sets from the new movie, and it was incredible. They were piping fog onto the streets, and I was like, this is crazy. To get that phone call, it was, first of all, I thought it was a prank call because like, yeah, Disney's calling me to be in Hocus Pocus too, okay. So after I thought it was a prank and they provided information to prove that it was legit, after I picked myself off the floor, I was like, yes, let's do it. And I was in Florida doing a tour of another show. And I had to take a red eye. I paid $500 to take a red eye back to Connecticut to get my Winifred garb and everything because I had to do my own makeup for the movie and provide my own stuff. And was in Rhode Island the next night and then did the 4 nights. The first night that I was there, I got to watch the witches fly on cranes doing one way or another. And it was like unreal and insane. And I'm in that musical number. It's very, very cool. I'm one of I get bewitched by the Sanderson sisters, and then we do a dance, and we dance down the street, and it's a whole thing, get the mayor. So I got to work with all 3 sisters. I got to work with amazing like extras and meet the producer and the director and everybody. It was incredible. And every single night. Also, this was shot during December, and it was below freezing. And obviously, Hocus Pocus 2 takes place like in the fall, so they don't let you you get to wear your coats until they yell action, and then you have to take it off and act like it's the fall and it's not cold, but it's like below 13 degrees. But you know what? I almost got hypothermia, and I do it over and over and over again because it was just a dream. And then getting to meet Bette Midler, getting her blessing. I met Kathy about 5 years prior to the movie at another convention, and she remembered me, and it was absolutely insane that she remembered me. We were getting lunch at craft services for Hocus Pocus 2, and she's like, "You're the one with the tribute show, with the stage show." And I was like, "Yes," and I can't believe you remember that after 5 years. She's a lovely woman. And Sarah Jessica Parker, also a lovely person. They thanked every single person before they started their scene, and was like, "Thank you so much to each and every one of you for being here. We couldn't make this movie without you. It's because of you that this is happening, the fans," and it was just so wonderful. And then one of the choreography steps in the scene that I was in is that classic witch walk. So to do that in Hocus Pocus 2, while Bette Midler is dangling above your head on a crane, on a broom, you just like pinch yourself. Is this real? Is this happening? And it's just, yeah. I took so many pictures, and I was allowed to like release them after the trailers and stuff came out. But it was, yeah, I would like, what a dream. And I work with Disney from time to time. They've asked us to do things for them Sanderson-wise, so you never know where we might pop up next.
Absolutely. Now, being a part of a major production like that, obviously, I'm sure you learned some things. Did it make you, change maybe your approach at all to doing the live show at all?
Yes, I learned that I'm really, really good at this character. I also learned that, flying, though it looks magical, it is not comfortable. And those women at their ages, we celebrated Bette Midler's 77th birthday on set, and they got her winning cupcakes. And she was flying that day. It was the scene, they were starting at Walgreens, they came out of Walgreens and then swooped into the air. And I was like, at 77, if she can do this at 77, I can do this I just turned 33 this April. So very, it's amazing. And I also learned that one thing is, the movie, you had to be so patient, because we did 13-hour days to shoot this movie. 4 days in a row, and then pickups the 5th day. And the 5th day, we were in Providence. So you just have to have lots of patience, and you have to have lots of patience, like, when you're doing a show like this, because all the pieces are gonna come together, but it's how they get there that you don't know how it's gonna happen. Especially when you write something new every year, and you're like, we're gonna figure out how this happens live, on the stage. And sometimes you have snafus, and you just wing it, and then the audience is there for the whole ride with you, so that's pretty cool. Thank you.
I'm sure there's people out here today watching that, maybe want to start their own, live theater performance. So what advice would you give to someone that maybe wants to start their own live production like this?
Great question. So I'm going to give you a couple really great rules. The first rule is never stop learning. Okay, I'm still learning. I learn something new every single day. Being here at this event, this was our first vending event where we're doing a convention. I've learned so much today. And I've had so much fun, and it gave me so many more ideas. And so I'm always ever learning, and I love constructive criticism from people because it makes me better. The second bit of information is always be kind. It doesn't cost a single penny to be kind, and kindness is going to be remembered. If you're easy to work with, and people love being around you, you will work forever, okay? Don't become a diva and think that you're Bette Midler and that you're good enough to have live animals on your rider and 18 gallons of whatever you want and food and a leopard and whatever else. Just enjoy. And that's another thing. Live in the moment, okay? This show is a lot because I wear a lot of hats. This year I'm very excited to announce that I'm hiring a director, and we're going in a very different direction because I get to have another eye. After 9 years of directing, producing, choreographing, and staging, and being Winifred, it's a lot of hats. And so I'm very excited to step back as an actor. So I'm gonna get to enjoy the process a lot more, even though I enjoy it every single year. And I get to do this for a living, so doing what you love is an amazing thing. So I would also say, if you have the ability to find what you're good at and become self-employed and do what you love, it's not gonna be work as long as you love what you do. It's a lot of hard work, okay? This show is a lot of hard work. This took me 9 years to be at this table. To be good enough to sit at this table and get a phone call to be here, talk to people about what you do, took 9 years. So you have to be willing for a long game, right? And I mean, in the podcast world, you start off small and getting guests that, whoever you can get. And then once it grows, right, you can get big name people that go, oh, I've heard of your podcast. I'd love to be a part of it. People are starting to be like, oh, I've heard of your show, or I've heard of your name, and this and that. And that's amazing. So I will always stay humble because it can be taken away like this, okay? So live every day, enjoy it, and be in the moment, and don't lose the magic, okay? It's magic every year. I always fear that the show might get stale. And because I have an amazing cast and the show always changes, and the amazing audiences, it never gets stale. And I will continue to do this show until people stop coming. Thank you.
Unfortunately, we are getting short on time, but I do have a couple more quick questions for you. Looking ahead, what's next for Hocus Pocus Live?
Big year. So, what I'll touch on, because I know it's a point that we wanted to touch on. We don't just do the Hocus Pocus musical. We have a lot of different other Sanderson sister-based events that we created over the years. One of them is a kid-friendly train ride experience. It's called the Salem Express Revenge of the Sanderson Sisters. It's a very young age kid-friendly show. It's immersive. It's like a ride at Disney where the Sanderson sisters take over the train, and the kids, through a series of games and magic, defeat the Sanderson sisters, or get a chance to defeat the Sanderson sisters and get them off the train. And we sing songs and we play games, and it's a lot of fun. We also have a brunch called, you guessed it, Just a Brunch of Hocus Pocus. We also have our show that we tour, which is the cabaret, which is just my sisters and I, called An Evening of Hocus Pocus, a Spelltacular Cabaret, which is a 90-minute all live singing cabaret show where we do Hocus Pocus 1 and 2 songs, as well as your Halloween favorites that you know and love. And we have the musical, and this year we do Sanderson sister weddings. So I'm an officiant and can officiate weddings, and we do entertainment for weddings. We're actually doing one in Vermont this year. And this year we're touring some bigger spaces this year. We're going back to the Palace Theater in Waterbury, which is a 1,000-seat equity theater. We're going to the Warner Theater in Torrington, Connecticut. Basically, we're touring Connecticut, but a new theater that we're taking over this year is the Jorgensen, which is the largest performing arts center in the state of Connecticut. We're coming back to Salem in September, which is very exciting. And we're going to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which is very exciting at the end of November, in November. And our big dream is, I want to celebrate the Big Ten by bringing this musical off Broadway. I think we've done off Broadway, the cabaret we did. We're coming back to New York this year. We did it last year. We made our debut. But I want to find a producer that loves Hocus Pocus as much as we do, and wants to help us get that journey so that we can bring it to New York and do the full-length show as it's been done on an off-Broadway level. I want to do 8 shows a week for you, okay? And you do too, for the money. And for the love of Broadway and all that stuff. We want to take this to heights, so if you know anybody or you want us to come to your town, we will. We'll play your living room, we'll play the Salem Old Town Hall, we'll play everywhere.
The divorce parties.
That's right. Yep, funerals, everything. We do it all.
I think that's a perfect way to end this panel. So everyone, once again, please give it up for Miranda, Summer Orlando, and Bonnie Petite, the Sanderson sisters. And don't miss Hocus Pocus Live. I'm sure coming to a town where you
Can we end with a cackle? Can I give them a good cackle?
Yes.
You guys want a cackle? All right. So I'm gonna give you a good cackle. But also, if you want any information, you can visit our website, hocuspocusliveofficial.com. Okay, here we go. So, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Come see us for pictures, or we'll put a spell on you.
Once again, Hocus Pocus Live.